We live in a time where we're more connected than ever before. Information is at our fingertips, and so is the thrill of being the person to unleash new knowledge upon the masses. Leaks are a thorn in the side of the gaming industry. Publishers' carefully laid plans can be dashed in an instant for the hopes of an up-and-coming reporter trying to make a name for themselves, or another news source doing exactly what they do: reporting. Not every leak is necessarily bad or detrimental for a company. There's a part of history that folks want to preserve, whether the presence of a title was known before or not. See, here's an example on the good side of leaks, the ones that educate. Take Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo, for example. Star Fox 2 is an ambitious game for the Super Nintendo, boasting some of the most advanced graphics and gameplay the system had ever seen. The game was essentially finished before being canned in favor of Star Fox 64, which includes many of the features and gameplay seen in the cancelled predecessor. Star Fox 2 eventually found its way onto the internet, where enthusiasts proceeded to finish up the bits and pieces that were busted, translate it to English, and give the world a game that was thought to be lost to time. There's a level of both novelty and education that comes with Star Fox 2. On one hand, it's interesting to see how far in development a game can come before a company decides to pull the plug. On the other, it's an entirely new game that, for a time, was only read about in magazines like Nintendo Power and then thought to be lost, likely as Nintendo intended. It's cases like these that can lead to developers coming forward to offer more insight in the game's development and factors leading to its cancellation. In this case being the looming Nintendo 64, releasing shortly after the game's intended release. But as we come up to more recent events, the intent lies less on preservation and more on attempts to push oneself or brand. Make no mistake, journalists and fans alike have no reason, within the confines of the law and NDAs of course, to adhere to a corporation's plans. And let's be real here, when new information and products are coming at a snail's pace, the public will slowly grow desperate. Even if there's no interest in the product, there is interest just to know. But there's also a level of respect, or lack thereof, to the developers themselves. They are, at the end of the day, people who have waited months, sometimes years, to reveal the game to the world, and to steal some of that thunder can seem like spitting in their faces. There's also a level of apprehension that slowly grows from how incredibly dedicated fans can be. Demos that get torn apart limb from limb can reveal new information early and end up spoiling the final product. Most of this won't affect sales, nor even people's enjoyment of the reveal, but it can alter a company's plans when it comes to marketing and sometimes creating a game. And from just a fan standpoint, it can ruin some of the fun. For some people, that fun is, of course, the insider stuff, but for others, it can kill the hype. It's like sneaking a peek at your Christmas presents early as a kid. There's a level of excitement, knowing what's to come, and the anticipation of waiting, yet not nearly as exciting as the unknown. The ultimate point of all this is asking if and when leaks are okay. Really, it's a person-to-person standard, again within the confines of the law. For most, the easy out is to say, stay off the internet, but really, is that feasible anymore? Not really, no. Leaks, to me at least, are okay when it's information we wouldn't have known otherwise, like we talked about earlier with Star Fox 2. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't as ravenous for information as everyone else. But I guess at the end of the day, the thing that we have to remember is that these are people whose work that we love, and while we absolutely should keep reporting, discussing, buying, and loving the industry that we all hold dear, we need to respect it too.